Ahoy there chaps, George Fragrance Apprentice here, coming to you on a narrow boat in the middle of the English countryside. It's very, very beautiful out here. Today I've got a very, very special fragrance review for you. It's my King of Spring, and that is Citiver from the house of Dueto. Let's go check it out. So I know what you guys are thinking. Why have you brought us onto a narrowboat? Well, the specific reason is that there is a very personal story to this fragrance that I have, or a very personal memory, should I say. And that is, me and my family, we go on trips like this. We try to almost every year for a week, and usually in the springtime. So one specific time, I brought a candle on board, and I lit the candle. And with the smell of this particular type of candle, with the aura of the woodiness of the boat, with the outside smells as well, it created a specific aura, it created a specific scent that would stay with me for a while. So fast forward 2 years later, and I buy Golden Boy by Dueto, and they send me a sample pack. And of course one of the fragrances within that sample pack is Citiver. And I take a whiff, and it's the exact same smell as all of the different elements from the candle, from the boat, and from the outside world. It's that specific scent. So I decided to try and do this fragrance justice by coming back with the exact same candle and trying to recreate that scent. So would you like this? Right, so first of all, if you love the outdoors, the great outdoors like myself, then totally, definitely. You love like walks through fields and forests, absolutely. This is something that you'd really appreciate by smell alone. Now, of course, the main notes advertised is vetiver, but don't be afraid, it's not too harsh. Standalone harsh vetiver notes are not really my type of thing. But this has a sweetness to it, almost has a somewhat kind of clean, soapy vibe. Similar to, but not identical to, Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford. But there's a larger scale to what I'm talking about. This has a really nostalgic quality to me. This reminds me a lot of the fairy tales and the children's stories that I used to hear, such as Lord of the Rings and things like that, things that had very countryside-based settings. So it has that kind of magical mystique about it. So if you're interested in that, or you want a fragrance that has a resemblance to that kind of vibe, that type of thing, then I would highly recommend you check Citiver out. When it comes to the presentation of Citiver by Dueto, I like the whole Dueto line with regards to presentation. It can have a bit of a mixed reaction to some people, but I personally really, really like it. I love the different cities encrusted around the different the shape of the bottle. It is embossed. It's very, very luxurious, very, very beautiful, and I love the different colour schemes. This isn't as tight as its counterpart Golden Boy, which is like solid, looks like solid gold. This actually has a bit of transparency. You can see how much liquid you've still got left. But all in all, I think it's nice. The colour scheme definitely works with the smell of the fragrance, so I'm going to give this a really solid 9 out of 10. So what is the smell of Citiver? Right, so I've got it sprayed on. It's been sprayed on for about 2 hours now over here. So I'm going to do a fresh spray on my left arm here. So the opening is amazing. Wow. Okay, so we start off with a bit of citrus, kind of like almost like a tangerine kind of orange citrus, and then bam, we're hit by vetiver and Parma violets. Also, there's a few other woods, kind of like a sandalwood, sandy wood kind of smell as well. Very, very intoxicating. Very well rounded. It has a sweetness to it, but it's also very, very grounded by the woods. So it's very, very pungent, very, very strong, a really, really strong and solid opening. So the second stage is here, and this has more of a nostalgic appeal to it, because you have the woods, but they kind of die down. What happens is that the violets, the Parma violets, are uplifted, and it also has a bit of cinnamon coming in as well. And what this altogether reminds me of, actually, is, you know, the little love heart sweets that you had when you were a kid? Yeah, well, those, literally like that kind of thing. But it also has a woody tone with the vetiver, the sort of green vetiver kind of a smell that surrounds the sweetness and gives it a real grounded feel to it. Really fantastic, really good. This is where the nostalgic and the more sort of like interesting aspects that attracted me to it come into play. And finally, the third stage, this is what I call the vetiver dry down. So you have, again, the woods, the sweetness, but it's died down. What you get is like a sort of a sandy, musky kind of tone that's really, really good, really, really solid, and has a definitive kind of masculine punch to it that's very, very good. And that's where you can get compliments from this fragrance. So altogether, an astounding smell. I really love it. I highly recommend it, and I'd totally ask you to check it out. The performance side of Citiver is actually one of its biggest highlights. The projection is a bit odd, but longevity is absolutely amazing. So with projection, the first 2 hours are almost beastly. It's huge. You get a huge scent cloud. Everybody can smell you. The barge can actually be in itself taken out by the smell, so you should be careful on the trigger. But after 2 hours, and ranging the 3 to 5 hour mark, and then after that, it does die down. It's not as it is a bit of a mismatch because it isn't quite as heavy as the first couple of hours. So there can be a bit of a disorientating mismatch, but overall very good. The longevity is stunning. 12 hours plus every time. It's one of those types of fragrances that you put it on in the morning, you go to sleep that night, and then you wake up the following morning and it's the first thing that you smell. So longevity is fantastic. So with the numbers, projection, I'll give a good 8 out of 10. And longevity, I'll give 10 out of 10. So there you go. So my final thoughts on Citiver by Dueto is that personally I really love this. I think it's very, very dynamic and very, very beautiful, and has a lot of different qualities to it. But of course, one of the main things that one of the main connotations that it has for me is adventure, is being free, being open in the world, and of course going on holiday to the woods and to the unknown. So I would recommend it certainly to my fellow adventurers and just fragrance aficionados in general. There is definitely a rich quality to this fragrance. So my final thoughts are, I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a wonderful, fantastic fragrance, and one of the best springtime fragrances I've ever smelt personally. So I would I would say go and try it out, and if you like it, it's definitely full bottle worthy. So there you go.